back to Carp. Welcome to a dismal, grey, misty, basically vile day at Makins Fishery in Warwickshire. Now I'm going to be honest, Makins Fishery is not a place I'd normally fish. You know me, I'm a wild lake, river type of guy. But, and there is a big but, what Makins has got is some really big perch. And that's what I'm doing today. As you've probably noticed, the last few weeks there hasn't been a video on the channel. For various reasons, I've been busy doing other bits and bobs. I haven't really been fishing at all. But also, the rivers have been completely out of condition. We've had so much rain here in the UK over the last month since Christmas. The rivers have been constantly flooded. Just out of condition. And I was thinking about what I could do really, and I decided I'd come perch fishing. And again, normally if I was going perch fishing I'd target rivers, but I can't. So here I am at Makins in Warwickshire. I'll be honest with you again, this is the lake I'm on lagoon. This is not the water I'd normally fish for the perch, but I've turned up today. I looked at them in the week, I looked at the website and they've got the matches on there, what matches are on what lakes, and there wasn't a match on Lake 4, which is where I'd normally fish. So got myself all geared up for Lake 4, turned up this morning, there's a match on there, couldn't believe it. In fact there's a match on basically every single lake here today, other than lagoon. I spoke to the guy in the tackle shop and he assures me there's some big perch in the lagoon. In fact, the swimmer I'm in apparently did a 4-pounder just a couple of weeks back. So, yeah, I mean, you just have to adapt, don't you? That's commercial fisheries for you, unfortunately. On the plus side, there's only me and one other on the lake, so I've been here a couple of hours. Nothing as yet. I've got 2 rods. One's out on the on a feeder with prawn, whole prawn, and I'm also fishing the waggler close in. I'm fishing at the bottom of the drop off in front of me, about rod length out on the waggler, and I'm fishing chopped worm on that, spraying a few maggots over the top. I'm also baiting up just down my side here, just there. I'm baiting in close up, just trickling a few maggots, a few chopped worms in there for a few hours, and I should give that a blast later. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. The trouble is with Makins, it doesn't open till 8. The winter hours are 8 o'clock, and it closes at 4, so you have to be off by 3:30. So basically, you're missing both the sort of the top times for a big perch. I like it just before dark, as you well know, but you have to be off before then, unfortunately. A lot of the gates at 4, which is a shame. But yeah, hope you're all well, by the way. I say, I've had a busy few weeks, so I haven't done any fishing. But yeah, from now on, hopefully we'll get them on every week again. But yeah, we'll get on. Bait wise, what we've got today, we've got prawns, we've got lobworms, we've got dendropina, we've got maggots. All top perch baits. So I've got 2 rods. The ledger one, the feeder, I'm fishing close. There's a little island. In fact, I'll show you. Oh, come on. I don't know if you can see that. Hang on. Yeah, there's a little island out there. I'm fishing close to that. And then, sorry, let's get you back. zoom back out. Oh, hey up, what have I done? Yeah, and then I say the waggler, at the moment I'm just fishing literally a rod length out in front of me. There's a drop off, it goes from sort of 3 foot of water to 4 foot of water. So there ain't a lot of depth there. I'd like a bit more depth if I'm honest. But it is what it is, we'll see how we get on. So yeah, I'll run through the rigs a bit in more detail in a bit. And baits. So yeah, right, see how we get on. Bring you back when I catch a 3-pounder. We wish. Right, while the bait's out of the water, thought I'd show you what I'm doing. So, this is my feeder setup for perch. Oh, ain't a lot of room here again. Let me move you out of the way, that's it. Okay, so, setup. I've got a 1.25 pound Corum all-round rod. Cracking rod, really soft tip, but plenty of power through the midsection of the rod. Got a Shimano bait runner, mini bait runner, it's a 2000 size. 6-pound Dave Arrell feeder line. And then on the business end, I've got this is a, what is it? Yeah, this is a 4-ounce Corum feeder, ground bait feeder, to a Corum run rig kit. So you've got that, the run ring, down to the Corum stop. Resistance is key with perch, you don't want any resistance whatsoever. So these run rig kits are absolutely fantastic. This is the small, size small. And then I've got a hook link, which is 4-pound fluorocarbon, to a size 10 Guru wide gape hook. Now, I'd normally go bigger. Honestly, this is the noisiest swim. We've got the main road right behind me. Yeah, I'd normally go bigger to be fair, but Makin's rules state that there's no hooks below a size 10, unless you're on the specimen lake. Hair rig with a Corum quick stop. Simple as that. So yeah, like I say, resistance is key. You don't want any resistance whatsoever because perch will drop the bait. As regard to baiting up, I'm going to try and do this now so you can see me. Let's get some slack on this. Make life a bit easier, I'll show you. Okay, bait wise, what I'm doing, I've got some dendrobinas in there. I'm going to get my scissors, worm scissors, and chop them all up into bits. Give them a good chop up. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get a couple of prawns, or a prawn, and chop them up. And then with my ground bait, this is Census Black ground bait. It's a really good winter bait, it's really good for perch. It's got all sorts of goodies in there. What I've done, I've mixed it up and put it through a ground bait riddle. In the winter, I don't want any lumps in it. All I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bit of ground bait in there first. This is really difficult to show you like this. So plug a ground bait in the bottom. You can get a piece of prawn, stick that in. A pinch of these chopped worms, put them in. And then I'm going to plug the other end if I can. There you go. So plug a ground bait. Now what I'm going to do, now these Carp quick stops, let's drop that in there a minute. These Carp quick stops come with a tool, and basically what you do, I've lost the tool. So what I've done, I've just snipped off the end of an old baiting needle. Because what you do, you stick it in the end of the quick stop, if you can see that, and you simply just shove it through your bait. And I'm going to do that a couple of times. There's a couple of dendrobinas on there. Another one. I like hair rigging worms. And then simply all you do is you pull that. Let's put you down a bit. So I've shoved it through the bait. And all you do then is pull it. Normally you just pull it out of the bait, but with worms we're a bit delicate. So I tend to just pull the baiting needle out. And then, right, there's your hair rigged worms. It's a cracking bait. And then what I'll do, you don't have to do this, but I like to tip it off with the hook off with a couple of maggots. Just a bit of extra movement. A couple of maggots. Yeah, it's been a slow day today so far. There you go. What perch could resist that? Well, the ones in makings apparently. And that's ready to go. I've not clipped up or anything. I'm confident in my own casting. What we've seen now, I make a prat at myself now. Okay. And all I'm doing is fishing as close to the island as I can get, really. Just pour it, put my finger on, slow it down, kick the bait out, and that's that. Drop the tip in the water, gather up that slack, bait runner on. I've set the bait runner to its most sensitive, and then what I'll do, I'll show you here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Can you see me? Can you see me yet? Okay, I've got a really light bobbin. Let's turn that volume down on the alarm a minute. What I like to do is pull off the line, because I want a really long drop on this. Pull that off a minute. Untwist it. Yeah, I want a really long drop. Again, sensitivity. There you go. So as you can see, let me show you. It's got a long drop on it. Turn the alarm up. Oh, just check that. Okay. Okay. And that's that really. And the other thing to say is that I've got the rod pointing exactly to my bait, so there's no resistance whatsoever. Tell you what, filming ain't half hard work, you know. Yeah, simple as that really. So that's the ledger rig, and then the waggler rig. Might as well show you that while I'm at it, because I'm baiting that up. Typical, wife phoning. Sorry, rudely interrupted then. Yeah, so the other rod is floater set up. I've got my trusty 13 foot Shimano Speedmaster match rod, mini bait runner, 2000 size, £6 reel line, again Dave Harrell, and then I've got what's this one? It's a number 4 crystal waggler, set in place, kept in place even, by 2 float stocks either side. I like a little bit of a gap between the 2 float stocks, so it's got a bit of running movement in the float there. Comes down to a £4 fluorocarbon hook link, again size 10 Guru hook. I've got 3 number 4 shot, and I've got a little dropper shot about 3 inches from the hook. Simple as that. And all I'm doing with this one is loading it up with chopped worm. I have been using prawns. I've had no joy on prawns so far, so I'm alternating basically between chopped worm, whole worm, prawn, just mixing it up really, just you know, see how we get on sort of thing. So this one's chopped worm I'm going to put on, and again as always, because it's barbless hook, it's barbless hook rule on makings, I'll just tip it off with a maggot. And I've just been fishing in the margins. I've been baiting a swim up in the margins and no joy there. I did have a nibble there, but yeah, so now I'm just going to go back to the original swim. I'll keep baiting them up, keep trickling a few maggots into both swims, and yes, we'll see. But what's strange is I haven't seen anybody else catch either, and they're fishing like dead maggots, and you know, but yeah. So all I do, I'm only fishing a rod length out. I'm literally just chucking it out, burying the float. Oh, got a loop of line there off the reel. What's happened here? There we go. I only put this new line on yesterday, so it's still a bit lively. It's in the lively stage. Yeah, it's better. Right, yeah, so I've cast out, and then what I'm going to do, dropping my tip, reeling it back in, burying that line, sinking that line, and there we are, sorted. All we need now is a perch or two, or a perch will do. So yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that's the rigs anyway. Do you know, for February it's really mild today. It's not rained yet so far, and pray God it doesn't. But yeah, it's a nice day. Yeah, it's been obviously this channel concentrates on mental health and the benefits of angling. I've had my own issues, as you know, and I do still get very down sometimes, and I have been the last few weeks. I've had a bit of a change in circumstances over the last few weeks, and it's messed my head a bit, to be fair. So as you'll probably know or aware, for the past 25 years of my life, I've been in the fishing game, fisheries game. I've been in fisheries management, running fisheries, contract fisheries management. So I've been around fishing pretty much for all my life really, as a job. Angling writer. I'm still writing, still do angling writing. In fact, this session today, if I catch, I shall write this up for the Angling Times, who have asked me to do a feature for them. But yeah, I was saying, I've actually come out of the fisheries game for the first time in 20 odd years, for various reasons, but mainly because I've got quite a bad back, and it's from years of being in dry suits in lakes and rivers and netting lakes, dragging big nets around. And it's not done me any good, to be honest. And for the last few years I've been sort of seriously thinking about what I want to do. And reluctantly I've left fisheries behind. I've got a real job. So for the first time since I left the Air Force 28 years ago, I'm not self-employed. And that's a big step for me. I've got a real job, a Monday to Friday job, which is the hardest bit to get used to be honest. Because self-employed with my fishing, I used to give myself days off in the week to go fishing when it's quieter. But now, of course, I'm on Monday to Friday and I have to fish at weekends like everybody else does. And I'll be honest with you, the adjustment has been really difficult for me. Which is another reason I haven't been fishing. I've sort of been trying to get my head around the new job. It's a cracking job, you know. I'm a lawn care guy now. Look after lawns for a living, but it's enjoyable, nice bunch of lads. But it's just different. It's very different, you know. Getting used to logging on every morning and clocking in. I've always been a free spirit. I've always been self-employed, you know. It's really weird, and you know that with my head, my mental health ways, I get very down and nervous. Is that the word? So yeah, I needed this session, to be honest. You know, when your head's not at it, I'm sure you people know, when your head's not at it, you know, any sort of change in your life can be really stressful, and that's how I found it. But yeah, I'm getting there now. You know, and it's nice to get out on the bank and reset my mind a bit, you know. So yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, going forward, I'm still planning to put a video every week if I can. But obviously with it being I'm a 9 till 5 on Monday to Friday now, and obviously I've got all the family commitments and weekends as well. It's difficult, but I will try. There are still plenty of plans going forward. So Cast for Calm and this mental health charity, I'm still setting up the charity. And I've got a 2-year plan where I'd like to be full-time doing Cast for Calm from a coaching basis. Coaching and mentoring people with mental health problems. All sorts of plans in the pipeline. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with it all. But say between now and then, you know, I'll do my best. I've got lots of plans. We're actually going into France, me and my wife, in June for a couple of weeks in our camper van. And my intention is to do a lot of fishing when I'm there, so that'll be interesting. And obviously I'll be filming that. I've also got plans for fishing for tench. I've been doing my research on the tench fishing for the spring. Barbel fishing, I've been putting early plans in for that. So yeah, we've got plenty to come. But I'd ask that you just bear with me for now until I can get my life back in order and get a sort of a routine going with regards to family life, fishing life. So yeah, but listen, these are challenges that everybody faces. I've been lucky for 20 odd years where I can go fishing literally whenever I wanted to go fishing. Especially when I was running fisheries, I was on a fishery every day, so I used to spend half my life. So, rudely interrupted then. I've just looked down that margin swim that I've been feeding, and there's a load of roach just blasted out of the water, so clearly they've got a perch on the tail. So that may be another little move. Maybe it's time to drop in there. Let's flick a few more. Oh God, I'm going to flick a few more maggots in there in a minute. So yeah, but look, I'm not the only one who faces these challenges. Most people can only go to work fishing on a weekend. You know, that's how it is. So I'm just going to have to get used to it. So yeah, but yeah, it's nice to be able to get out on the weekend and reset the brain. I need resetting today as well, by the way. I went out last night with my daughter, her husband, and my wife. My son-in-law's parents, a couple of our friends. So it was a big bunch of us. And I have to admit, I had one too many pints of bitter last night. Got up this morning and I was like, oh God, really? Fishing today? But it certainly blew the cobwebs out today. It's lovely to be out on the bank. I tell you, it's a miserable old day. It's grey, it's dull, it's just not very nice. But it's actually really mild. It's actually quite pleasant sat here. I'm not cold in the slightest. Yeah, it's all right. It's nice. So all we need now is a fish. But that hopefully will come. So I'll bring you back. I'm pleased to say we beat the blank. It's not exactly what I was after, huh? But we haven't blanked. On a size bloody 10 up. Little roach. Hold on. Little roach. Oh well. Try again. There's roach in the swim. That can only be a good thing. Because that's what they feed on. Try again. Oh, we're into something bigger here. And it's got that nodded. It's nodding. I'm hoping this is a perch. That float absolutely buried. Let me get you back. Of course, it could be a carp. Oh, what was I saying about carp? It's not woke up yet. This is going to just roar off in a minute. Bloody carp. What was it saying just? About carp, I'm surprised I ain't caught one. Swim wreckers. Get away. No, come away from that. Come on. Carp took a log into prawns. Well, now it's got to wake up. Oh, come on. You're not going over there. You're not wrecking my swim. Bloody Nora. Don't need these things in my life. Oh, now it's raining. Wonderful. Where the bloody hell are you going? No, stay away from my swim. For crying out loud. Decent fish to be fair. Come on. Really? For goodness sake. Stay away from the reeds. Really? Christ. Got some energy. Come on. Get your head up. Come on, son. She's ready. No, maybe not. Oh, come on, you bloody thing. Bloody Nora. Come on, away from there. There we go. I think. Oh no, oh no, no. What are you doing there? Good fish this. Oh, right, sort myself out. Right, yeah, not what we wanted, but we'll take it, eh? It's well hooked. Get rid of that out of the way. Oh, crying out loud. Stick that out there, out of the way. Ooh. And there we are. Funny old perch, eh? Good condition to fair. Yeah, it's not bad fish. Scrappy. But not a perch, is it? Let's get her back. Had a nice conversation with a guy who fished opposite me. A Latvian guy. And he's only been here 2 years. And he hadn't fished for 18 years, since he was a kid. And interestingly, he's just lost a parent. And it's sort of screwed with his mind a bit, as it does. I know it all too well. and he's taken up fishing as a way, you know, relieving the stress, just to get out and clear his mind. So obviously I've just told him about my channel, Cast for Carp, and he subscribed there on the spot, and he thinks what I'm doing is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I encourage him to do more fishing. He asked me about my suit because the poor guy was absolutely freezing. He only had a fleece on. So I've told him where to go to buy a suit like this. And he took my advice. He's caught himself 2 skimmers. I've never seen anybody jumping around so excited to catch a skimmer in my life. But it was brilliant. It's brilliant to see. It really is. So yeah, I've got a new subscriber now. Yeah, just an all-round nice guy, he really was. But yeah, just because to show the power of angling when it comes to mental health. It really is, that it cannot be beaten in my eyes. It's just, yeah. Anything else, like if you go golfing, you know, I'm sure people, you know, sort of disagree. But for me, if you go golfing, you're on the move all the time and you're concentrating on shots, and you know, if you do anything like that. But for me, angling, when you sit down and you are completely relaxed, your body's relaxed, all you're doing is watching, you know, looking around and looking at the wildlife, seeing what's going on. You become at one with nature. It's so unique. Even in a horrible day like this, he's chucking it down now. I'm absolutely drenched, but I'm warm. Although I have to be honest, I am getting a bit stressed about the fact that I've got to clean all this gear up when I get back. Yeah. Whatever calming effect the fishing's had on me, when I get back I'll be dead stressed trying to clean this lot. Especially when my wife starts kicking my backside around the kitchen to make it a mess. But no, it is unique angling in that respect. To see the joy on that guy's face when he caught them skimmers. He only had 2 bites all day. They were just little skimmers he had. And he was fishing quite heavy, really. He was fishing like 3 bits of sweet corn with a massive feeder. And this time of year, you don't need to be doing that. But do you know what? It didn't matter. He's a novice. You know, he will learn as, you know, as time goes. But yeah, it's nice. Not nearly enough anglers coming into the game these days. Everybody just wants to go carp fishing straight away. That's the trouble. There's no grounding. There's no, how can I put it? When I was a kid, or when, you know, all my mates or anglers growing up, you started off on, you know, rivers, commercials, catching minnows and perch and bits and bobs, and then you sort of graduated onto, you know, catching bigger fish, chub on rivers and things like that, and then you graduated to catching, you know, some carp on a commercial or whatever. And then when you were ready and you'd learned your trade as such, you could move on to catch bigger carp. All kids want to do nowadays is catch big carp, and they buy all the gear. They spend, you know, 2,000, 3,000 quid on bloody carp gear, sit behind lifeless alarms for 3 days, and when they eventually get a carp to hang itself, they declare themselves the best anglers in the world, when in reality they probably know nothing about fishing. And as an angling coach, you see this a lot. When I used to coach the schools, you know, I'd get the kids down, I'd start them off on whips, catching small stuff, and then I'd get them up to fishing rod and line on floats for, you know, for the slightly bigger species. But they'd moan, all they wanted to do was go on the carp lake for the big carp. I want to catch big carp. My mate had a 20. I was like, your mate is going to learn nothing about fishing carp angling. I'm sorry, carp anglers, that's true. I'm passionate about that. You'll never become an angler if you want to just go carp fishing. And that is a fact. You won't. You'll learn how to catch carp, and you'll also learn how to make life difficult for yourself, because I'm sorry, all these newfangled rigs. Look, I am a carp angler. I do go carp angling. I do nights with carp. I spent years and years chasing big carp. I've had carp to 55, 12, £55, 12 ounces is my personal best carp. In the UK, my personal best carp is a £40 carp. Well, 39.12 I think, or 39.13 I think it was. Just under £40. I've had lots of 30s, countless 20s, upper 20s. But I always fish for everything else as well. If you pigeonhole yourself into just carp angling, if you get caught up in the bloody silly team corder boys and, you know, your Ali Amides of this world, you'll never make an angler. The best carp anglers around, your Terry Earns of this world, your Frank Warwicks of this world, are really, really, really good all-round anglers as well. But this new generation that are coming through, you see on the telly, I'm not going to name them because I know one of them. All they want to do is carp, and they'll tell you, oh, that carp is the end of the world, you know, everything, it's all carp. We never, ever, ever get caught in that trap. The times I've gone on to specimen carp lakes and you walk around and say, how you getting on, mate? Nah, nothing, mate, nah, nothing. Yeah, and they've not even bothered looking for the fish. They just go to the named swim. I've done it. I've been running fisheries and I had a specimen carp lake. We had carp to £40. And people used to phone me 2 weeks before. All right, mate, can I book the lawn swim for 2 weeks' time? Well, I don't know fish are going to be in the lawn. You know, 7 acres. Do they live there, do they, in a particular swim? When I fish a carp lake, when I'm going carp fishing, specimen fishing, I'll spend 2 or 3 hours walking around to find the fish. You can't catch them if you're not on them. But they're quite happy to sit there, smoking weed, drinking beer and waiting. And if that's what floats the boat, that's what floats the boat. But don't call yourself an angler. Don't declare yourself as the best angler in the world. Good skills, mate. Good angling, Mara. It's not. It's not good angling at all. I respect anglers who can catch anything. You don't have to be the best in the world of it. But if you're efficient at catching roach on the waggler, going down the river catching a chub on a link ledger, cheese paste, if you can then go pike fishing and catch yourself a pike and then pop off and catch yourself a zander out the river and then quite happily sitting there trotting a float for grayling, you know, and then going to catch a big carp out of what? They're anglers, they're proper anglers. If you can get out on the beach and catch flounder and dabs and bass off a beach, they're anglers, they're proper anglers. Might not be the best at it, but you know, they're proficient at using a plethora of different methods to catch fish. If you don't give yourself that grounding, if you go straight into carp, then you're pigeonholed for life. All you're going to ever do is catch carp, and who wants to just catch carp? They're not the, you know, even these big waters where there's, you know, they're meant to be rock hard. They're really rock hard because there's only so many fish in there. The fish themselves are not. They're not, you know. So, oh, I'm not going to eat your bait. I'm dead bright. I can see it. Look at your rig. I can see it. They're not. A carp is a filter feeder. It's a bottom feeder, and it'll eat anything. It doesn't matter what bait company it is. It doesn't matter all these different, you know, flavours of baits. Yeah, sometimes it can make a difference, I suppose, but it's not the be-all and end-all because carp will eat anything. You know, you just got to be on them. And if you're on them, you'll catch them because they're not difficult fish to catch. But carp anglers will tell you different. Anyway, rant over, and I'm still getting wet. Very wet. Oh, this lot's going to take some cleaning when I get in. Oh, here comes the roach again. Oh, what we got here? Oh, hey up. Oh, it's a better fish. 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 Oh, it's a What we got here? Oh God, this could be a perch. Get me fat ass out of the chair. Better turn you around, don't know, so you can see. Oh, this is, I think it must be another carp. If it's a perch, it's massive. It's hanging deep. Gotta be a carp. Yep. Must be, surely. There's another little carp. It's a right manky looking thing as well. This one ain't got as much fight. Oh mum. Oh Jesus Christ, look at the state of this thing. Got a making special here. Christ almighty. This poor thing. What have we got here? Some sort of monster. Oh Christ, this poor thing. Oh God almighty, this has been caught millions of times. Poor thing. This one's retiring. Oh my God, deformed. Oh dear, the state of this thing. Face any mother could love, eh? Still not the perch. This is mouth damage. Way up. On my way on the other rod. Better get us back quick. Go on, you ugly old brute. You know. Oh, did have a run on the other rod. He stopped now. Probably a lime bite. Right. Yeah, that was mouth damage. That was from being caught a million times. Poor thing. That's the trouble with commercials. Carp get absolutely battered. Right, where's me worms? Go for a worm again. What I like to do when I'm baiting up with worm, I get a dendrobina. Let's get a bigger one actually. Get a dendrobina. That's the sort of size of it. I'll just cut it in half. Just pinch it in half with my fingers. And then the bloody end is what I put on the hook. 2 pieces. Because perch will always go for that bit first, where the goodness is basically. And that's obviously then nearest your hook. And then I'll just, as always, I don't know why, just put maggot on, just helps keep the worm away from the important bit of the hook, the point. So if I was to sum up commercial fisheries, I'd say it's the good, the bad and the ugly. I've always said that. So the good, well, they're comfortable. You can always park close to your swim or relatively close. The swims are always well maintained. as a general rule of thumb. They're excellent places for beginners because there's always plenty of fish to be caught. There's normally a tackle shop, so you can get your bait. For the most part, the people who run them are always nice enough, you know, and they'll always put you on fish and they'll always offer you lots of advice. Yeah, they provide lots of bites and good fun. The bad, they get absolutely hammered, especially in the summer months. They get hammered by everybody. They're not always well policed, I don't think, because they are so big, generally speaking. There's not nearly enough checks from bailiffs, rig checks. And because of that, you get some horror rigs. People use some horror tackle. You know, sort of a little pool like this, you know, can't go up to about £8 or £9, maybe a little bit bigger. But you'll see kids, youngsters who want to be carp anglers, fishing bolt rigs, you know, and they've all, you know, the barbed hooks and they're dragging them out. You get a lot of that. Now, when I used to run fisheries, I was absolutely shit hot on rig checking. My fish were my stock, they're my living. They're also a living creature. And no way I want any of my fish to suffer in any way or get damaged in any way. They get overcrowded. The fish get overfished. Yeah, it's just, there can be awful places. You can also, you know, a lot of them are always sort of stitched up by match anglers. So you get here, you can travel a long way, get here and not be able to fish. So my advice on that would be to check the website, because they have got a calendar and it'll tell you when the matches are. But today it said there wasn't a match on Lake 4, but when I got here there was, so you have to be careful. I would suggest ringing ahead. But yeah, the main thing is it's just the fish get hammered. They're never the nicest fish. They've just been caught thousands of times. You know, when there's so many carp in a small area, they're just getting constantly caught. Yeah, and then the ugly is obviously, you've seen the ugly. That's what happens. You've seen that poor fish earlier on. Parrot mouth, I call it. It's just awful. It's awful to see. You end up with ugly fish like that, damaged fish, you know, stressed fish. It's not nice to see. Bloody hell. Did you hear that bird scarer again? 4 times that'll go off now. Any minute now, get the second one. Yeah. So in summing up, yeah, they're definitely worth visiting. But they have got their drawbacks. So I'd much prefer to fish wild venues, rivers, wild lakes, proper lakes. Yeah, the fishing, I'll just get much more pleasure out of catching them sort of fish, wild fish, than I do these carp on here that have been absolutely ruined. Find it quite horrible, to be honest. Commercial fisheries, love it. Not.
Voiceover Shay here. Sorry about this. As you can see, I've lost all my audio. But as you can see, I did catch another carp towards the end. Thankfully, a slightly better looking carp. Although it did, if you have a look, have a bit more mouth damage. Yeah, I lost the audio. I didn't realise till afterwards, but I'd knocked the cable out when I'd changed the battery. So schoolboy error there, I didn't notice. But yeah, as you can see, another carp. Yeah, I don't know, fish about £6-7, but gave a good fight, give a good account of itself. And yeah, it was in all, no perch, but we had an half decent session. But it did point out the good, the bad and the ugly of commercial fishing.
yeah, another roach. Not a bad one really, but not a perch. Go on, little fella, put him back. He's away. Yeah, I'm nearly done now, to be honest. I think the rain's battered me into submission. Awful. So, the good, the bad and the ugly. That's what this video is going to be called. It was originally a perch video. Sorry, I shot them. It was originally a perch video. But you know what? I think I'm just going to use this video, to highlight the good, the bad and the ugly of a commercial fishery. You've seen all three today. You know, would I recommend coming to a commercial fishery? Absolutely, 100%, definitely, especially if you're a beginner. I say they're perfect because you're always going to catch plenty, even on a cold winter's day. I mean, today I was targeting big perch, so I've fished a lot heavier than I would normally fish. If I'm coming down here to target just a mixed bag, I'll be down to a size 18 up this time of year, single dead maggot, you know, on the bomb. That's how.
And down went the audio again. Really, really do apologise for this. I've recorded a really nice outro, but I think there was a problem. I don't know whether it was the damp, the wet, but there was a problem with the audio. Kept cutting in and out towards the end. So I'm not quite sure what the issue was there. But yeah, that was the video. The good, the bad and the ugly. Sort of highlighting how I target commercial perch. Unfortunately, we didn't catch any. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video and I'll catch you next week. Thank you very much for watching as usual.